Hey everybody, Poker Dad here. So today what I'm going to be doing is I realize I really don't have my own, it's not that I realize, I just have been kind of procrastinating it, making my own calling ranges, three betting ranges. I'm sorry, not calling ranges, but um, ranges to use when I'm the raise first in and then I'm facing a three bet. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be constructing ranges, basically four bet ranges, where I will determine here if I will four bet, I will call the three bet, or I will fold. And I'm going to do this for each position, in position and out of position. Um, so with that being said, let me get started with under the gun. So under the gun, um, and just so you know, the color coding here is green will be a 4 bet, call will be blue, and fold will be yellow. Um, so jumping right into it here, because this is something I've definitely have struggled with, and I haven't had a really good guide. In fact, I actually I didn't purchase, but I downloaded the free trial of Power Echo Um, I was going to do it with that because I like the color coding that better. But I do like to reference this at times when I am playing. I have three monitors, so I usually keep FlopZilla over on one monitor, and I like the ability to be able to just put my cursor over any range and take a look at it. So anyway, so now if I am in under the gun and I'm in position, this basically means, of course, that everybody is folded and I am only facing the blinds here. So the first thing I need to do is come up with the hands here that I'm going to be four betting. Um, so let's take a look at some four bet hands. I want to have some value hands, and I definitely want to have some bluff hands as well. So now I don't have many bluff options here in under the gun, but let's go with this for now, and we'll say ace ace, king king, ace king suited, ace king off suited will definitely be four bets. We'll say ace queen suited here, queen queen. We can four bet jack jack. I think we could even four bet a hand like 10-10 here. Oh, see, this is where though like Power Equilab actually would come in more handy here, because we can kind of get to see the percentages. So actually, you know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to open up Power Equilab because I can always then transpose it, even though I won't be using Power Equilab, just to be able to do this. So that's actually what I'm going to do. And I don't know if I could find a use for Power Equilab, I'll keep it. But it is like $5 a month. So I actually created some color codes in here already. But for the sake of this, let me delete this because I was creating something else and it really wasn't what I wanted to do. So actually, what I can do here is I want to erase all this. I don't know how can I possibly just delete this completely. Hang on. Bear with me. I think I should be good now because that is gone. Yeah, okay. So let me just create some groups real quick. I need to, okay, I need to, hang on. Bear with me, I just downloaded this, kind of a noob. Alright, let's do it this way. So I'm going to say green. Green here is 4 bet. And blue is call. And yellow is fold. So I want to keep the colors consistent. And actually this is, actually we should save it as RFI facing 3-bet. Okay. So now let me just take this here, this range and bring it over to Equilab. And now what I can do here is I can do the groupings here. All right, so this is going to be in position. This way then here I can see the percentages of each each group. So first, the hands that we will definitely be four betting: ace ace, king king, queen queen, ace king, ace king, ace queen suited, jack jack, 10-10. Okay, so that's 29% of this particular range here. So the range overall is a 30% range. Oh no, the entire range is 12%. So the entire range is 12%, and I guess this means that 30% of that 12% is going to be a 4-bet. So, and we're talking about in position here. So now these hands we can 4-bet. I think we need some bluffs still also. Some 4-bet bluffs. So you know what? Let me add another group actually. I want to add a bluff group. We'll do pink as a bluff. So 4-bet bluff, because I want to make sure I have enough bluffs in there as well. So what hands can we bluff 4-bet here? We're not going to have too many bluff 4-bets, but maybe hands like ace jack off, 10-9 suited. You know, because these hands right here, maybe I won't love calling these hands here. And I think some other hands that maybe I could bluff here are some of these bottom pair hands. 4-betting, 4-bet bluffing hands like 2-2, 3-3, 4-4. Hands like that, actually even more so, because maybe we don't want to even take somebody's suited connectors. We could take jack 10 suited, queen 10 suited. Some of these hands here that might not be the best hands to call, but we could definitely bluff these particular hands here. Maybe we can 4-bet these particular hands here. Maybe just get rid of... We're going to be in position now, which is good though. Which gives us more hands we want to play around with here. Well, a hand like king queen off is a decent hand, but not a hand I think I would want to call a 3-bet with. I wouldn't want to fold it, but I wouldn't feel great about it either. So king queen off actually could be a hand that I can bluff with as well. So right now I have 29% 4-bets and then 23% 4-bet bluffs. I think that could be pretty good here. I think that could be pretty good here. So let me see. Now, the hands that I'm going to call with, these hands here, I definitely can call with and play them in position. King, queen suited, definitely. King, jack suited, queen, jack suited. I mean, these two could really be either bluffs or bluff 4-bets or calls. Ace, queen off, we want to call. 9-9, 8-8, 7-7. These hands here I could really fold. If I want to fold these hands, I think I could. So I will 4-bet and call. We got 29% of the hands we would 4-bet. and 29% of the hands we would call. Then we got another 23% we would bluff, and another 17% we would fold. I mean, we're going to be in position here, so we do have more playability in position. So we might not even need as many bluffs in position. Maybe we need more bluffs out of position to try and get more folds out of position. So maybe even these hands here, I can call these. Maybe I don't need as many 4-bet bluffs in position. I can call more hands in position. I think actually I can. I don't think I really need as many bluffs here. In fact, if anything, maybe I can bluff these hands here and really not have many hands here that I would fold in this spot here. I mean, 10-9 suited and Jack-10 suited, I think definitely can stay as bluffs. And King-Queen off, I think I could definitely keep as a bluff. Ace-Jack off as a bluff. But these hands here are going to be so set dependent that if I call the 3-bet and I don't hit a set, I'm going to have to fold them. Where at least if I'm in position with these, I could, possibly bluff on the flop. So maybe these hands here might actually be good as a bluff and just not have any hands to fold here. Seems quite dangerous though. But I am in a good position under the gun. Now, if the middle position is the one that 3-bets me, then maybe I can make that a little bit lighter of a situation. Maybe then I do fold hands like these here, and I don't 4-bet them, and just really almost get rid of my 4-bet hands in a way, my 4-bet bluffs, and just keeping my 4-bet values here. So I think this could work. And the distribution, so I am calling more than I am 4-betting for value, but I'm 4-bet bluffing a lot more. I don't like that. That's too much bluffs versus 4-bets. So you know what? Maybe I'll just go back to folding these here. We'll just get rid of these. We'll just fold these hands. We're not going to call them. We're going to fold them. We'll fold them. And now we got 29 to 8, 29% 4-bets, 18% 4-bet bluffs here. And I think that works. I think that works. We'll get rid of these hands. We'll call these hands here. These will be our bluffs, and these right here will be our value. And I think that's a decent enough ratio there. So let's apply that. All right. Let's close this. So let me just slide this over here and apply what I just did over to slide this. Damn it. I messed up the screen. Alright, I'm going to have to stop this and I'll just have to combine videos. Alright, so now that I fixed that, let me now do this here. So ace, 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 king, ace, queen, ace, king off, king, king, queen, queen, jack, jack, and 10, 10. And then the blue is ace, jack, ace, 10, king, queen, king, jack, king, 10, queen, jack suited, queen, 10 suited, ace, queen offsuit, 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, 7. And this should be the yellow. Yep, that's these here. Ace, jack, the pink, is ace jack offsuit, king queen. These are the bluffs. Okay. So this is under the gun. And actually, I kind of messed up when thinking about these. This would be in position. So now looking at out of position, what can we do out of position here? So out of position, I think the value hands is still going to remain the same. But out of position, I think I'm going to want to have more bluffs here. So here, out of position, I can add some bluffs like queen 10 suited, king 10 suited, maybe even queen jack suited, which I'm not going to really want to call out of position. It's going to put me in a tough situation. King jack suited also. These could all be bluffs here now. King jack suited, ace queen offsuit. I think I'm okay just calling. Ace jack suited, ace 10 suited. I'm okay calling that as well. So this gives me pretty much almost 1-to-1 in 4-bets and 4-bet bluffs. I will be calling less, so I'll be calling these hands here. If they hit a set, great. If not, then I could always bow out. I mean, really, you can make a case out of position. I should probably just be folding these. I think I should be out of position. I think I just fold all these pocket pairs and just continue to play with these hands here, and have these as bluffs. Just the broadways even. 10-9 suited is like still a good hand here to bluff with, I think. Where all these pocket pairs, probably not so much. Just better off folding all these pocket pairs here. So be folding about 28%. So it's pretty balanced for the most part. So let me now, what I will do, I'll go back to this. And the greens, queen queen, jack jack, and 10-10. And the blues. So we got less hands that we're calling out of position. These here we're all going to fold. And these hands will 4-bet bluff. And I think this works. All right, so that's under the gun. And here I'm just going to save this in here as well. Oh, I should have actually done under the gun, in position, out of position. It's really not important actually because of the fact that I'm probably not keeping this power Ecolab anyway. So actually I don't think it really matters, because now when I go back here, this all should be gone anyway. At least I think it should be. Well, maybe when I put in another range, it'll be gone. Okay, so let me now go to the middle position. All right. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now this is completely new. Perfect. Okay. So let us take a look here. So now this is going to be middle position, in position. So under the gun is folded. Under the gun has folded, and again we are facing the blinds here. Obviously all these situations are going to be if we are facing the blinds, really, because That's the only way that we would be dealing with it in position, is if we are facing the blinds. So again, our 4 bets are going to be ace, ace, king, king, queen, queen. These would be our values. And in position again, ace jack suited here is fine. We can 4-bet 10-10 also. I think we can 4-bet both ace queens as well. King queen suited, I think I want to 4-bet as well. So now what kind of hands are we going to bluff with here? I think the hands I want to bluff with are these hands here. Because these are the hands that really rely on a flush draw. More so, like these hands here, you can get a straight draw or a flush draw out of them, where these here really just rely on a flush draw. So I think that these here make pretty good 4-bet bluff hands here. The same thing with the suited connectors here. I can bluff these as well in position. And I think I can bluff these particular hands here too, the 9-9, 8-8. I mean, they could be calls or bluffs. I mean, we could just call them too. Right now I have a lot more value 4-bets than bluff 4-bets. So we got to find maybe a couple more bluffs here. Well, I know hands that I'm going to definitely folding. I know I'm folding queen jack off and king jack off, those hands there. Ace 10 off, I know we can fold those hands there too. We'll fold these ones here. And let me just see. So calling hands, ace 9 suited, actually I could add to a bluff as well. Calling hands, these hands we can call in position. These hands here I could add as bluffs too. I think this actually kind of makes a little more, this makes some sense, kind of 2-1 close. And these hands here we can call. And we can call these hands too. So we'd be 4-betting roughly 26% of the range, calling 23%, 4-bet bluffing 16%, and folding 26% of the range here. Oh, I forgot about these as well. These here also will be calls. So actually, we're calling 30%, 4-betting. I mean, well, our 4-betting is about 42% of the range, and then folding 26%. So I do think this kind of works for in position. So let's do that here. So ace, 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 king, ace, queen, ace, king, 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 queen, queen suited, ace, queen off, queen, queen, jack, jack, 10, 10. And then ace, jack suited, ace, 10 suited, ace, 5, ace, 4, ace, 3, ace, 2. King jack suited, king 10 suited, king queen off, ace jack off, 9-9, 8-8, 7-7. Folding hands, ace 10 off, king jack off, queen jack off, 6-6, 5-5, 4-4, 3-3, and 2-2. And bluff hands, these are the bluffs. So those are the 4-bet bluff hands. Alright, and so from there, let's just save this here. These are in position. So middle position, in position. And now, let's see, out of position. So out of position, again, I'm going to fold these hands. Out of position. I think I could fold ace jack off here, or really I should be bluffing ace jack off. I don't want to fold ace jack off, so I definitely want to bluff ace jack off. Same thing, king queen off. I don't want to fold it. I don't want to call it. I can bluff it. And I want to add king jack suited and king 10 suited to my bluffs here as well. I'm gonna have a lot more bluffs actually. These hands here, I can fold out of position. But these hands here, I'm going to bluff out of position. And you know, I really don't want to have much to call, really. Ace jack suited, ace 10 suited, I mean, those are going to be the only hands I would actually call. I mean, these are okay for calling hands. I could even, well, we're going to be out of position here. I don't want to 4-bet everything, you know. I got to have some hands that I would call out of position with. We could add these 9-9 and 8-8 to it. Yeah, ace jack off, or rather 4-bet. King queen off. King queen off I can call as well. I don't have many hands I'd be calling out of position, but I don't want to be, you know, out of position. It's going to make it so much more tougher anyway, considering that if I'm calling a 3-bet, then I haven't initiated and I'm out of position. It's going to make it so much tougher to play anyway, which I think why 4-betting is just such a better play for the most part. Here. So, I mean, I can keep some hands here. These hands still could have good playability out of position here. And these hands I don't want to play at all at that in that spot. I mean, I could even add more of these as calls out of position, and you know, if I can get a set, then I'm in a great spot. So I can add 7, 7, 6, 6 actually. I mean, we're talking about a cutoff 3-bet or a button 3-bet here. I think this kind of works. See, we got closer to 1-to-1 here, which is the way I prefer it out of position. Calling less hands and folding more hands. So I think this works. So let's take a look. Let's set this up here. Ace, 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 king, ace, queen. Jack, jack, 10, 10. And definitely less calling hands. Okay. And this right here is the folding hands. So these are the hands we'll get rid of. And these are the hands that we're going to bluff. Okay. This looks good. And we will save this as middle position. Actually, this one here, I can just rename this. Actually, I kind of screwed up on this one here. Okay. 1 second, I'm going to pause the video. Okay, I am back. Alright, so I think this works so far. Under the gun and middle position, all set. Now I can move on to the cutoff. Alright, let me just set this up here. So let's cancel this out. Get Equitable Lab back. And let's work on cutoff. So here's our cutoff opening range. I'll probably test out these ranges to begin with and lower limits just to mess around with them. And, you know, I don't want to bring these into higher limit games, you know, the NL50 or NL25 or anything like that yet. Okay. So let's take a look here. 1 second, pause the video. Hang on. Okay, and we are back again. Sorry about that. All right. So what hands here? This is at position again, in position. So cutoff, and we got one of the blinds have 3-bet us. So let's go get our value hands in here. You can make a case for 10-10 to actually be a call here. But let me keep it as a value for now. Here I do want more 4-bet value hands. I'm going to have ace queen off here again. Obviously be a lot more hands we're going to fold here too, because that we're not going to want to play. Well, king queen suited in position, I think I actually can call. Actually, let's call it here in this spot. We have more hands that we can call in this spot here. So we have a much larger range. So we have more hands we could definitely call here. Let's call these here. I'm again okay 4-betting these ones. Calling these. Calling these in position as well. Definitely have more hands I would definitely be willing to call here. I could even call 6-6. So what hands here can we bluff with? We can bluff with king 9 suited, queen 9 suited, jack 9 suited are hands we can definitely bluff with. Even bluff with these hands as well. We can bluff with some of these suited connectors as well. You can even make the case here that we can call the suited connectors in position and bluff these ones actually. So why don't we do that? Let's bluff like 10-8, 9-7, 8-6 as 4-bet bluffs. In position, we can call ace-jack off. These hands here we're going to fold. These hands here we're going to fold. Hang on 1 second. Sorry about this, hold the pause. Okay, I'm back again. These hands here also here we're going to fold. 7-6 suited, and I'm going to make 7-5 suited another. And 6-5 suited where it's a hand I think we can bluff as well. I'll see what the ratio is looking at now. Let's see what the ratio looks like here. So we got 70% 4-bets. We got, so it's 1-to-1 in position. I think it's too many bluffs here. Although they're going to be more inclined to fold here out of position, but I think it might be too many bluffs. We're calling 31% though. We're calling a ton, which is okay in position. I mean, we could fold out these hands here. We can fold out those hands. You know, maybe when we're in the button and we're, you know, we want to 4-bet, then we can have these, but let's fold those now. And I think we could fold some of these weaker suited connectors too, but bluff the suited gappers. So call the suited connector and bluff the suited gapper of that particular, you know, the 7s, 8s, and the 9s and the 10s. I think that works actually. You can make a case here. I could even fold these hands here too. Maybe we'll fold these hands too. We'll save these for the button, for button 4 bets. So this puts us at 17%, 17% 4 bet and 9% 4 bet bluff. Might make a little more sense. So we don't have too many bluffs here in position. Again, I don't think we need that many bluffs in position because we have position. So we're already in pretty good shape here. So I think this works well for a cutoff range versus a 3 bet. I'd feel comfortable calling this, calling all of these here. Comfortable calling these because it's going to give me more opportunities to c bet, you know, depending on how the board plays out here. And when I say c bet, I mean just, well, it wouldn't be c betting, of course, because we're calling it, but it gives me a little bit more playability to possibly call more hands as well, if or even raise based on you know, if we do hit a flush draw or something like that. So I think this could work. So let's group these up here. Queen, queen, jack, jack, 10, 10. Here we get ace, jack, ace, 10, ace 5, ace 4, ace 3, ace 2, king, queen, king 10, king, queen off, queen, jack, queen 10, ace, jack off, jack 10 suited, 10, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 6. And then our folds are going to be these hands here. And our bluffs of 5-4 and 6-5 we're folding 2. And our bluffs. And the thing is with the bluffs too, is if I'm facing an opponent that just does not seem to fold, then, you know, these bluff hands I will take out of my arsenal. If, you know, they're not folding the 4 bets, there's no point in bluffing, because the idea of the bluff, of course, is to get them to fold. So I think that works. So let's store this as cutoff. And now let's move to add a position. So which of these calls, basically what we need to figure out is which of these calls are going to become bluffs now. So I'm going to do the same thing here where I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to fold these out. So, well, first of all, add a position only means that the button is 3 betting us. So I don't want to fold these here, even out of position, but I'm going to call these, but now I'm going to bluff these again, just like I did before. Out of position, ace-jack offsuit, and these. Really, actually, these can even be value out of position. Same thing with king queen suited. So king queen suited out of position, we're gonna 4 bet king queen suited. King queen off would be a bluff. Ace jack off would be a bluff. And we'll make these bluffs. Whoops. Nope, that's still gonna be a fold. We can make these bluffs here. and these become bluffs as well. So a lot more bluffs. We're going to get rid of these. We'll keep 9-9 and 8-8 as calls. So again, not too many calls out of position, more bluffing out of position. We got way too many bluffs though in terms of bluff to value ratio. It's not good. Well, out of position, I think we can fold these hands. So we'll fold the gappers out of position. This puts us at close to it. Any other bluffs we can get rid of here? It's pretty close to 1-to-1. I mean, the only... give me 1 second. I'll pause again. Hang on. Okay, I am back again. All right, so... I mean, I could fold something like 7-6 suited also. Out of position. You know, I want to be playing less hands out of position, of course. It could be a bluff. Try to get about as balanced as possible here. I think this is pretty balanced by getting rid of 7-6 suited. Unless I could call these even out of position and then check raise them. The problem is it's going to be a 3-bet pot at that point if I'm calling them, and if I check raise them, it's going to pretty much put us all in, which makes it more difficult, which I think is why it's just better to 4-bet them here, because check raising these hands is going to suck. Because like check raising, he calls. It's pretty much now we're pot committed, and if we don't hit a flush, and it's going to make it so much more difficult. So that's why I think it's just better that we're bluffing these and we're not calling them out of position. Like I'm not as worried about it with the aces, because the aces, you know, we can hit an ace and get a pair. Same thing here. You know, it's not as bad if we get called. You know, or if we have to check raise, it's not as bad with these particular hands. Where if we get check raise with a 7-6 or a 6-5, you know, if we check raise with one of these hands here, it makes it all the more tougher. Which is why we don't want to have them as a call. And I want to be a little more balanced, so that's why we're 4-betting. So, but okay, so I said that these really could also be calls as well, and not 4-bets. If we wanted to add more calls here in the spot versus the button, you know, these hands here, at least King Jack and King 10, we can make calls here. This will put us at 20 and 18. I think we can call these here. Because here I'd be okay with a check raise with these. Not so much with these here, which is why I'd rather 4-bet them. You know, here too, I'd be fine with the check raise. So I think this works. So we got 20% 4-bet, 18% 4-bet bluffs, 10% calls. We're not calling that much, of course, out of position. And we are folding about 50% of our range out of position, which I think is good. All right, so let's do that. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh, whoops, screwed that up. Need more blues, 9988. The yellows. Yeah, so we're folding, definitely folding on here, which is fine. I'll figure it out, 50% of the range is folding. 2 or 3 bet. And these are the hands we're going to 4 bet here. A 4 bet bluff. Okay, that's out of position. So that's cut off. All right, let's take a look at button now. So here's our button open range. All right, so button in position versus one of the blinds. I mean, usually it's the big blind that you're getting 3 bet by. Or, I mean, well, no, that's not true because the small blind. The small blind usually is betting pretty good for value. And that's where you're going to get the most 3 bets from, is from the small blind. So, first our value hands, of course. The usual suspects, of course. We do all suited aces here. We can 4 bet all suited aces for value. I think we'd be calling a lot more hands here, of course. Now I could even 4 bet 9s here for value from the big blind, from the button. So, what kind of bluffs do we want? We're in position. Well, let's do the gappers again. Let's 4 bet bluff all of these here. Let's 4 bet bluff these hands here. This gives us roughly 2 to 1 right now as 4 bet bluffs versus the 4 bets. Then from there, I think we could just call all the suited aces. I think we can call, we're going to call a lot of hands here from the button. We'll call all the suited connectors. I'll leave these 2 out. We'll call all the pocket pairs. Ace Jack off, I'm going to stop there. All this junk we're going to get rid of. All the offsuit stuff here we can get rid of. So the rest will all be folds. So obviously we are folding a huge part of the range. Good thing it's a button, there is no out of position. Which makes it easy. So we're folding close to 60% in the button. But when we're, that's, you know, we got so many hands we're opening. We're opening 50% of our hands. We're going to fold 60% of them. But I mean, these other hands, really, the purpose of these hands are for stealing. So if we're getting 4-bet, we're no longer stealing anymore. So I think it makes sense to just fold a ton of these hands here. And really, not many hands to 4-bet bluff either. But I like this. This is about, you know, 11% of value and you know, 6.5% close to of bluffs. I like that. So let's throw this in here. Nice and easy. Gets easier, of course, as you have less players to worry about. Less bluffing is required too when you have less players to worry about. I think that's it there. Let's get our fold hands here. So a lot of hands with folding. Which is fine. Whoops. Get rid of that guy. And the bluffs. I mean, of course, the good thing about the bluffs is there's still this playability, you know, if they do get called. But the object of these hands, of course, is that we're going to get a fold. All right, so that's the button. We don't have to worry about out of position because this is when we're raising first in. And on the contrary, now we will take a look at small blind, which is always going to be out of position. So let's take a look at small blind. Small blind is the last one we need to construct here. Let's see what we'll do with small blind. And this is just always, of course, against the big blind. So we get 3-bet by the big blind. Just to take a look, you know, this is the micro stakes cold call 3-bet. Big blind versus small bet blind. How much are they? Their 3-bets are green and blue and yellow. Let's have an idea. Okay. So value, hands will 4-bet. You know, again, we're going to be out of position, so I think we want to 4-bet a little bit more here. because we're going to be out of position. There's not going to be much calling we're going to do here. So 4 betting for value about 14%. Let's see what we're going to bluff here. Hands we don't want to fold. Really don't want to call. King Jack, Queen Jack, these hands here. I think we can bluff. Let's add these in for value. There's not going to be too much that we really want to continue with here. King Queen off, of course. You know, this. I'm just going to have these suited aces here. These rest will fold. The pocket pairs I'm okay with calling. Like these two. The rest I think we'll just dump. The suited connectors. Suited connectors would if we call them, it's going to be check raises. Again, you know, in a 3-bet pot, that's going to put us in a situation where we're kind of pot committed. So we're almost better off 4-betting them now. Four-bet them now, and we don't have to worry about it post-flop. So we're close to 1-to-1. Pretty balanced. And then we could dump everything else here. The only hands we're calling are hands like 9-9 and 8-8. And I think we could just dump everything else here. Out of position. I mean, we could call these. Yeah, we could call these. I hate to fold the suited aces here. We could just call these here. And, you know, always fold post-flop. I always fold after the flop. So let's call those two. I don't want to, you know, it's just big blind versus small blind. So don't have to worry about anybody else. You know, these hands too, like if we just are always folding these hands, well, I feel we're going to get super exploited. So these ones here we can get rid of, but let's save these ones here. I can make an argument for 5-5 too. Because I don't want to get exploited. I think this works. Because here now, we got 17% 4-bet, 14% 4-bet bluff, about 10% call, and we're folding about 60% of our hands. Still a pretty high number, but it's not too bad, I don't think. I don't think it's too bad. Again, you know, if you're watching this video and you're watching through it and you have any pointers or any tips or anything like that you want to throw my way, feel free to add them in the comments. I appreciate it. Alright, and we'll throw in. And, you know, the good thing about this is I can always adjust it. In fact, one of the things I would like to do is, after playing a number of hands, is use Poker Tracker. Oops. Is use Poker Tracker to see how we're doing in these particular situations and see if they're profitable or not. Because if I'm losing money, especially on my 4-bet bluffs, and getting too many calls, then I might want to take them out of my bluffing range. So we'll see. After this, I'm going to play a session and try out my new ranges. I'll play on Global Poker and L50. And we'll see how they work. So here's a small blind. And I think that's it. So just take a quick look here. So these are the in position ranges. Maybe there are some inconsistencies. I'll see more so when I'm actually playing. But I think this is a good starting point, and I could always adjust them. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this long video, just me setting up these ranges. And if you like your so, do me a favor, please subscribe. And until next time, Poker Dad.